Maclunky.
Welcome to the championship match of the SGC Columbus Star Wars Unlimited 2K, brought to you by Maclunky Gaming. Today, we have John Tatta battling Ryan for the title in an intense mirror match. Joining us with expert commentary are Tower Number 9 and Endless. Enjoy the match.
Here we go. Finals of the day. Long day, but we're here for some exciting games. I hope this is insanely back and forth. I hope every action is pivotal.
All-Stars97 says, I thought we were supposed to take KTOD with a grain of salt. Look, I think you should take anything somebody says with a grain of salt. Test out stuff. Don't just believe it because somebody who's prominent says it or whatever. I know I have definitely been wrong about stuff before, but I also think some people in chat were more skeptical of KTOD back when we were watching Jango Tarkintown lose a bunch of games. And now that Jango Tarkintown has been winning a bunch of games, you know, I think maybe some of the critics have quieted down a bit there.
Yeah. All right. So we're into this match. Both players very similar to start. Both going to start off with the crafty smuggler. You know, classic yellow unit. Very annoying for both. Both of them truly do not want to give up the aggro here. You know, they do not care about the opponent's unit. All right.
Bobby Sapphire gifting 20 tier 1 subs to the community. Big shout out to Bobby Sapphire for his continued support of Maclunky Gaming here, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much to the stream. All right. So this is a very pivotal decision that we just had here where Ryan got to start us off with a P-38 spaceship, and which then popped off the shield for the crafty smuggler. So we have a little bit of parity difference in both space and ground. One side has a shield and one side doesn't. You know, and we're going to see, you know, do the players decide to take, you know, the advantageous trades available to them? Will, you know, Tatta, you know, take his 7th Fleet Defender and kill off the 38 for free? Or will Ryan, you know, use his Crafty Smuggler to kill Crafty Smuggler?
Looks like it's going to be a Cartel Spacer exhausting that 7th Fleet Defender.
Which is incredibly strong. This is probably the best I've ever seen Cartel Spacer here. These are the tempo actions we're looking for.
Bobby Sapphire says, thanks so much for Maclunky. Without them, we would have so few streams. Yeah, big shout out to Titanic and Claire in particular for you know, hauling this equipment across the you know, across the country or whatever, and getting us this footage, getting internet set up, all this stuff. Without them, it would not be possible, and we really appreciate their effort here.
All right, so yep, this is we saw triple dark raid, and this is exactly what Tatta want to hit. A Ruthless Raider here is huge.
Yeah, that's a big Ruthless Raider play. Well, now where do you send this damage, Dark, if you're Tatta?
Well, you know, it seems that he's now decided he's going to be taking off the Crafty Smuggler, you know. If you wanted to push damage, I could totally see, you know, just doing 2 damage to the 3-2 in space and just, like, throwing 4 into Tarkintown. But we see that we're trying to equalize here.
Oh, and there's the ISB agent pinging the Ruthless Raider and exhausting, I believe, there with Jango's ability.
Yeah, he should, you know, definitely should have his, you know, Jango exhausted, but I don't think he's going to be doing too much more of that, so it's fine.
Bobby Sapphire says I should shout myself out and for 10 hours of streaming here. To be honest with you, I would have some difficulty maintaining 10 hours of streaming solo casting. So the co-casters Endless and Dark here are very much appreciated for allowing this to happen.
No, you've been doing great though. You know, you've been here the whole way, so don't sell yourself short.
I have streamed quite a bit, and I've done a lot of solo casting before. So you know, I can carry on a stream for some time, but I'll tell you. You know, I also woke up at 6 a.m., didn't sleep too well last night. It's been great having some other people on here to bounce stuff off. And I honestly really feel that having a co-caster elevates the stream quite a lot.
Yeah, you know, I'm glad to be here. This is essentially my second official casting of a match, you know, period. So
yeah, you had one of the show matches, is that correct? From the big team event?
Yeah, the big show match, the Jango versus Blanken Mace Windu, you know, show match between Both and Network and Late Night Gaming. But yeah, I've spent a lot of time watching a lot of, you know, professional card game matches. So
nice. Hey, there's another cartel spacer, this time on Tatta's side of the board, and it is going to exhaust that P38. Ryan sending his cartel spacer into Tatta's base for 2 damage here. Now 7 damage on Tatta's base, 4 damage on Ryan's base.
Yeah, this matchup is playing exactly as I predicted. It just could be a lot of sitting here, a lot of, trying to find value and exhausting. Ryan debating, yep, we're going to exhaust that Jango. Make sure you should definitely exhaust our Jango. Yep, I think Tatta pointed out. Yep, correctly exhaust that. And now we're going to see what can Ryan, now because he has the resource advantage here, still having all 5, what can he make out of it, What cards here can really set him up to take super advantage of the situation?
Tatta swinging with his 7th Fleet Defender. Now, is he going to go for the P38? Is he going to go for the base? Is he going to kill the cartel spacer? Let's see what he's
So
doing. Still has his shield up on that on that defender here.
if he goes for base, he equalizes damage, between them. They'll both have 7. This is
Player
the best
pointing out
time.
these players did play each other in Swiss, so they've maybe seen each other's technique and so on, and are now doing the rematch. The defender ends up taking out that cartel spacer. Ryan deploys his Jango.
Yeah, I don't know about killing the spacer. I think really the P38, it's probably the best time to kill that unit now when, the exhaust element is very much, not going to be
There,
doing much.
while the exhaust wouldn't be that relevant, though, it would potentially enable Ryan to take a Tarkintown kill on one of these units, because he could put that 1
Yeah,
damage on the 7th Fleet Defender and then use the Tarkintown to finish it off. It might be that Tatta was interested in trying to avoid that, so he took the clean kill on the cartel spacer instead.
definitely get you there. We're seeing a very funny, set of interactions happening here between Ryan and Tatta. Ryan is just taking multiple actions now because Tatta keeps soft passing. I don't necessarily, I guess he doesn't, I don't know if he has a specific card in hand, like a waylay. Waylay here, oh, okay, he's put right to no good to me dead right up in front. So maybe going to be no good to me this triple
What do we
dark
have
rated
here?
space unit.
Triple Dark Raid. Pan Dubois asks, "Are those identical lists?" I don't believe so, but
No.
I guess it's possible. I haven't seen the deck lists myself.
Ooh, that is not what we want to see. It's,
Ooh, it's just going to be a
salvageable.
P38, but he might be
It's,
enabling that Tarkintown play that Tatta was maybe trying to avoid.
there's no, ooh, I don't know.
Okay, no good to me dead, exhausting the triple dark rated P38, but it is going to just come right back to hand, right? So
Yeah, it's
it's
going to
not
come
going to
right back to
be.
hand. That
There
kind of
is
is
the
like
Tarkintown.
yeah, that's a forced action kind of by Tatta because otherwise Ryan just gets to take that P38, throw it into the cartel spacer, and then, finish off the other 7th fleet,
Yeah,
you
it would be
know.
too much value, so he had to play the no good to me dead, even though it wouldn't be the most impactful no good to me dead ever, since the card's getting bounced anyway. It does save him from getting 2 for 1, and that 2 for 1 would also have allowed Ryan to retain his Tarkintown for later use.
Yeah, so we're sitting here. We're at 6 resources now. Both players similar life totals. Ryan does have the 6-point damage advantage, so he could totally now take the opportunity to just start going hard and fast, send everything into base, and just hope it gets over the line. Or we can slow it down here. But it seems Tyler's gonna take first action and gonna be
Pings
dealing with
off
this
the
P31.
P38 with a Ruthless Raider, but the when defeated ping is going to allow Ryan to exhaust one of Tata's units.
It's got to be the Jango. I feel like, unless he wants to see, unless he has a space card, like I don't know what space card he could want. Maybe
Yeah,
another
there's the
triple dark raid.
exhaust. It is worth noting also that Tata still has his Tarkintown available. So that could play a role later on in the game, but we'll have to see.
Yep.
Good news for you says, "I wanted to share good news." Who wants to hear it? What's the good news?
Is that we're watching more Star Wars?
Yeah, I mean, watching more Star Wars is some good news with this simulated finals being played. Big shout out to the players for giving us these show matches even after the prizes were already split.
That's what I love. We're here for content. We want to give what the people want. All right, so this
Ooh, there
is
we go with a Fet's Fire Spray. Tata takes the initiative. Ryan swings on in. The life totals are getting more divergent here. Tata has now taken 18 damage while Ryan has only taken 8 damage.
Yeah,
Tatta is
10-point damage
potentially
lead.
in range for an attack buff to close out the game here from that Fet's Fire Spray.
So this one's
RJ
tough.
Terpstra 19 says Tatta has 2 losses the last 2 days, both to Ryan in Swiss.
Interesting info.
I wonder if Ryan has a version of this deck that is better in the mirror, or if he's just had the luckier draw, or just practiced the mirror more, or what. That's very interesting.
So we know Tatta has the tank, which, definitely does not play well into the mirror, most likely. The heavy space aspect that both these games have been. A tank doesn't do too much. Currently, the cards don't seem any too much different, between the two. They seem to be playing almost the exact same things. Tatta having, goods is a little bit, of a different call.
Have we seen that tank from Ryan? That was a big player for Tatta in some of the earlier stuff. And we do see looks like a Ruthless Raider from Tatta. It's going to ping Fet's Fire Spray there and exhaust it.
Exhausted.
They didn't bring the dice out for damage, but I think it's pretty clear that's where that damage was headed given the
Yeah.
exhaust. Oh, and then
Ooh.
there is going to be a Ruthless Raider for Ryan as well, pinging Tata's Ruthless Raider and exhausting it, and then dealing 2 damage to the base as well.
Oh,
Only
this is
5
tough.
damage remaining on Tata's base, and
Ryan is vastly.
Ryan's pretty far ahead here.
Yeah, the early aggro was very much decided, and Ryan is taking full advantage of it. And Tatta just scoops it up.
Yeah, scoops it up. That is going to be a win for Ryan. Let's
All
see
right.
if Tatta can get the win after the sideboarding here to take us to game 3 here in this simulated finals.
All right. I can tell you without a certain doubt what one card is going to come in both of these players' decks. And it is
What card are you
most.
thinking, Dark?
It is most certainly those interceptors that we saw at Tatta earlier. That thing is going to be insta
A
coming into here.
highly relevant card when there's this much space combat going on.
Yep. That interceptor is going to be huge against these two
And
players.
chat, we still have some discussion of brain invaders. I have just a strange feeling that neither Tatta nor Ryan is playing brain invaders in the main deck or the sideboard.
So yeah, Tata's making a couple of choices on cards here to come out. He's slided the Greedos, a Waylay, and a Vambrace ahead, which is interesting. The ground tank came
Greedo
out
is
as well.
very vulnerable to ping damage in this matchup. I will say that.
Yeah, no, it's very true. Definitely valid. The concerns of possible, I don't know how many turn 1 plays these decks are playing, but it's always scary to reduce that number because, man, even if your unit is terrible, having no unit can be even worse. I think I saw some Cad Banes. I think Tatta may have just sided in some Cad Banes. This is going to be interesting. All right. I know he also sided out the Waylay. The Waylay is very interesting, and I don't, coming from, the classic of Bobamir days, Waylay is a very crucial card for the situation where we're sitting at 6 resources, and your opponent sits there, taps out for a Fire Spray, and you have the Waylay. It's so backbreaking, but Tatta choosing to just go away from it. So we are going to see how this plays out.
Bloody9 asks, is this finals or semis? This is simulated finals. So the players played out the top 8, and then the top 4 agreed to prize split at that phase. But they gave us a show match for one side of the semifinals, and now with the winner of that game is playing one of the players from the other side of the bracket in a simulated finals. So the big prizes are not on the line here. They have already taken the prize split, but this is the simulated final match here at the SCG Con Columbus Premier 2K for Star Wars Unlimited TCG.
Yeah. This matchup is, man, so intensive on which cards you draw comparatively to your opponent. That's how most mirrors are. A lot of cards are going to be better than the others, but the Kylo Tai, definitely one of the best turn 1, play units for aggressive lines. But if your opponent's got that ISB agent into Tarkintown line, it just sucks. Cartels, Crafty Smuggler, way better into that. But if the opponent doesn't have it and they just go the Kyle tie themselves, then they're pushing more on damage. This is the give and take with these kind of mirror matches where every card is kind of plays a different purpose and definitely better into different stuff. All right, chat. We watched just before the previous match, Tatta down a game against Philip, but managed to claw his way 2 games back ahead. Do we think we can see him do it here again? Do we think he's going to take this one, bring us to that game 3, and take it over? Or we think that Ryan's going to finish this off with a quick 2-0?
All right.
So as stated, Crafty Smuggler very a lot better into the ISB agent line. So currently, it's quite well for Tatta. Second card, Greedo. All right, Ryan kept in his Greedos. All right, this will be interesting. So Tatta's got a couple choices, it looks like. We got a second Crafty Smuggler. We got a Daring Raid. Do you throw the initial Crafty Smuggler into the Greedo? Do you Daring Raid it? So many options of choices. Is it good? I don't know. It's tough. It's a really tough decision to think about here. He doesn't have too many of the aggressive units. We know that he's going to be on the backside here.
We were talking earlier about Greedo's vulnerability to pings. I'm not sure that there is going to be an easy ping for Greedo, but I do think I see a Daring Raid in hand there that could eliminate
Daring Raid, Crafty Smuggler, Ruthless Raider, and I think Cad Bane are Tatta's hand. So he's got a lot of the big hits. So it's definitely, we're probably going to be seeing, Crafty into the Greedo. I don't think Daring Raid's going to get used here. I definitely think the second Crafty Smuggler is going to play it out. Now, we would love to see Ryan play any kind of 3 cost that's easy to defeat. All right, that's exactly what we would want to see. Quick, easy answer. Tatta loving to see a nice 3-2 get played. All right, does not like seeing the second Greedo, but luckily we have the Crafty Smuggler.
Okay.
TIE Advanced and 7th Fleet Defender going for Tatta. He's going to be resourcing that TIE Advance, so we're most likely going to be killing Greedo with this Crafty Smuggler. And then
it's
going
interesting
for
too.
the 7th Fleet.
The result of Greedo's top deck there could be quite relevant. If he hits a non-unit card, that could be a kill on the Smuggler, but he misses.
All right.
That
is
Smuggler's
very
going to
crucial.
stay alive, at least thus far.
Yeah, this is a very, very good start. Tatta wants to hit these heavy resources.
Hitting the field from Tatta, putting that shield up. Ryan fires off a triple Dark Raid. Let's see what he gets.
So, cards we want to see here. We would love to see, I think, Ruthless Raider. It's probably the best one.
Yeah, Ruthless Raider could just straight up kill the Crafty Smuggler, 2 damage to base, swing in for another 4.
He's got a TIE Advance, which I think does nothing. He's got a Ruthless Raider.
No,
he's got
ISB
the Interceptor.
Agent is a ISB Agent's an Imperial. He could buff that up.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's the best play, but he could do it for sure.
I think he wants to kill.
No, it's going to be the Raider. Yeah, it's going to be the Raider.
There's also a case where you could have done, Interceptor if you had, the 1 cost in your hand, but I think the Raider is just going to be the best part of this. The question is, do we full trade this, 7th Fleet Defender, ping the shield? Then
that's interesting. He goes for the shield on the 7th Fleet Defender.
Yeah. I think we were always going to do that. It allows us to hopefully have answers to it later on.
He also could have just taken the direct kill on the Crafty Smuggler, though.
Yeah, I think that's a fine line.
For board control here, he takes the takes the swing into that. Now, what happened there? Why did that die?
I think Tatta just Tarkintowned it.
Tatta Tarkintowns the Ruthless Raider, and that means that when defeated goes off 2 damage to base and clears the Crafty Smuggler, but maybe he prefers that to having to deal with that Raider again later.
I don't know about that one. That
We'll
yeah,
have to
me.
see. We'll have to see how it goes. Todd is a very experienced player. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna. I'm not gonna say he. I'm not gonna say he's clowning it. I was a little surprised to see that play myself, but we'll have to see how it goes.
yeah. That's a. I don't know. That's a very weird decision.
All right,
You
so
know.
now we're seeing both Django's getting flipped here. Daring Raid clears out that P38 there. One
Oh,
damage to Django. So now we're looking at the board is exactly even. Both players have a Django Fett with 1 damage on him, but Tatta is down 9 HP and has used his Tarkintown already, while Ryan's base is full HP and Tarkintown has not been used.
yeah. It's
However,
look.
I do believe Tatta has more cards in hand than Ryan at
Yes.
this time. I think it looks like he has 4 cards to
He'll be going to
Ryan's
3.
2, but
Yeah.
he hasn't resourced yet.
Yep. So he'll be going to 3. Well, Ryan's got 2. Ryan did not have a card for the 4 resources left he had of that last round. So we're gonna see here.
Ooh,
I
there's a
could
Raider.
totally. Yeah, we're gonna 3 damage on here, exhaust this one, put 2 damage on base. But if Ryan doesn't have a 4 cost card, yeah, he's gonna have a 6 cost card.
Another Raider. Wow, these players are truly mirroring each other at this phase in the game, with each player playing a Raider and exhausting the opponent's Django Fett. Initiative
Yeah,
taken here by Tatta.
this is scary for Tada now. Like Ryan could totally just either do 4 damage to base, because he's currently still very much in the lead of this race. But the second that Tada wants to throw damage onto any of Ryan's unit with that Ruthless Raider, he still has Tarkintown available. I don't know. So like, in this point, like Ryan would have had a second, Ruthless Raider, available to him here. If Tada didn't go with the line he went with, it's very interesting. So, we're now at 7. We're now unlocked this Cad Bane. Captures up to 3 non-leader units with a total of 8 or less remaining HP. So, Tada would love to see Ryan play any kind of like 3-2 unit. You get to immediately take the Ruthless Raider plus the 3-2. But it seems
What
like
are we gonna
he's
see here from Tatta?
P38. All right.
P38.
Exhaust down that thing. We're going to start trying to tempo this away.
Raider exhausted. Ryan looks like he has a Greedo in hand, not maybe the highest impact card right here, but a no good to me dead for 2
Oh.
turns exhaust on that opposing Raider is a pretty nice thing to have here.
All right. What is Jango's types? Because I believe we have a tie advanced ahead and it is not Imperial. So that
Ooh,
tie
forced
advanced.
choke from Tatta, taking out Ryan's Jango Fett. And it looks like Ryan should draw a card here. I'm not
Yep.
sure he's done that.
Okay. Yep.
Tatta
Tada makes sure to
reminds him.
remind him.
Good, good.
You have to. That is not a May. You have to, I think,
No,
draw
yeah,
the
you
card.
you do have to draw the card, and I believe it is essentially mandatory to remind your opponent of something
Yes.
like that as well.
Yep.
But I don't know exactly how that plays out in terms of, what level of caution or warning or penalty would be assessed to you for not pointing it out.
Yeah. Star Wars has got a little bit different, rules exchange where, it's just based off point systems. And when you get to a certain number of points, that's where it's high. I imagine it's probably like in the range of like 2 to 4. Probably not too high.
Fab had a crazy system called IP, which stood for intellect penalty. And you would have your maximum hand size reduced for a certain number of turns based on how serious the violation was. And if you're not familiar with Fab, you draw up to your max hand size at the end of every turn. So this is like a super negative penalty.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right.
Oh man, that buffed Raider is now, I think, going to be captured here by Cad Bane.
Yeah. Cad Bane doing its job now.
Man, these have been some cool plays. Tatta is still very behind on base HP, but the board is swinging his way. However, Ryan has a lot of ready resources. Let's see what he can do with them. Cartel Spacer coming out to exhaust the P38.
All right.
Tatta swings on
We
into the base with Jango.
we need a big hit card here out of Ryan. You know, you want to see, we got 4 resources left. We want to see a, triple dark raid would probably be the best. You know, any kind of more ship deploy or 2 units. I know we have a cartel space or a crafty smuggler there, but we want some more cards. We need something, big
Thanks
here.
for subscribing with Prime. Your support for Maclunky Gaming is much appreciated. And in chat, several people point out that isn't a
Yeah,
legal
can't
exhaust
exhaust.
because he doesn't have a cunning unit. It looks like they've rolled that back, and the TIE Advanced is now taking a swing instead. Thank you for catching that, Maclunky Gaming. I didn't catch it at first. Good of you to have the situation covered there.
Tatta looks like he has the much superior hand situation here.
Another crafty smuggler, not the highest impact card for this point in the game. You got to be hoping for something more. And then Tatta swings his P38 into the TIE Advanced, clearing it and using the when defeated ability to ping the shield off of his opponent's crafty smuggler.
All right, so this is
Kylo's
what we're
TIE
talking about, Ryan.
Silencer. Man, Ryan is just getting these really small cards here. That's not what you want at this phase in the game.
Honestly, I think you kind of want it. I think you're definitely okay with it. If it's not a big one here, you want these small things. A lot of these decks kind of can deal with 1 unit each. None of them are playing cunning. They're just playing like, all right, deal 1 damage, exhaust that thing. So if you overwhelm the board, it makes it very tricky. This is where Ryan kind of wants to be, I think, in this situation.
Now, one interesting thing is that if Tatta swings with Cad Bane, Ryan can get his Raider back, but if he does, I believe Tatta draws 2 cards. Cad Bane is a very unusual card there.
Yeah, very unusual. The when played does not come back on the Ruthless Raider, so it's kind of beneficial for Tatta, to be okay with this coming back.
I think this is thematically a reference to an episode of the Clone Wars where Cad Bane engineers a hostage crisis in the Republic Senate. And I think thematically speaking, it's like, hey, I've captured these guys, and the opponent can pay a ransom to get them back, but you get the value with those cards.
Yeah, it's definitely very unique text. I do like
Yeah,
the card design.
The capture mechanic, Cad Bane putting the capture mechanic on his back and making it relevant to the game again for constructed play. Capture has always been quite relevant in limited in both set 2 and now 3, but it didn't see a lot of constructed play. Occasionally we would see those relentless pursuits, but Cad Bane is poised to change that with very impactful text.
Both players have come to an agreement here. They, Tatta has, both players have now come to the agreement. Tatta is the aggressor, with Tatta's, swing into space and Ryan's, Greedo going to exhaust that Cad Bane. It seems even though damage is much in Ryan's favor, he does not feel okay with trying to close this game out before Tatta can.
Yeah, it's interesting. Ooh, Greedo hits the top deck for 2 damage there to Cad Bane, and now Ryan still hasn't used his Tarkintown. It could be used now to clear Cad Bane and get a Ruthless Raider back on the field for Ryan. That captured unit potentially making a triumphant return. Now, it is worth noting, returning from captured does not get you the benefit of when played effects.
Indeed. So this is interesting here, Tarkintown can deal with the Cad Bane. Crafty Smuggler can also deal with the Cad Bane. It seems like Tatta doesn't care if the Crafty Smuggler goes and deals with the Cad Bane itself. So we're on 13 to 12. 5 more damage can be put onto Tatta's base, putting him to, I believe, 18. And he chooses Crafty Smuggler to do it, leaving the Tarkintown untouched, which is very interesting.
Cartel Spacer exhausts Kylo's TIE Silencer here.
All right, so Tatta's got 2 of the best cards now, left in his hand. And he's just trying to play out actions. Hopefully Ryan use all of his resources so he can safely either run out.
There we see that TIE Interceptor. And
yeah,
it's going
this
to
is what
deal
we're
3
Tarkintowning.
damage to the spacer now. Yeah, as you say, Dark, that Tarkintown is now available to clear out the Raider.
Yeah, and now we're throwing out. All right, so if Ryan
That's
has
fire
Waylay here,
spray.
I think the game is like almost locked. Here's the point. Oh, 3 Reese's get tapped.
No, it's not a Waylay, it's a
Not a Waylay.
P38.
Yeah, that's
And
not doing
the
anything.
P38 can't actually suppress the Fet's fire spray because Ryan's Jango Fett is already exhausted.
Yep.
He only gets to do 1 exhaust per turn, unlike Tatta, who still has Jango Fett on the field and can thus use that ability more frequently.
You still put the damage onto the fire spray.
Yeah, I think probably.
You know,
Because
everything else kills everything else
he's already
anyways.
poised to remove the Raider. I don't know though. Now Ryan has taken some heavy damage. He only has what is that? That's
He's
17 damage on
17.
his base. Only
17
2
to
HP
13.
left.
Oh man,
It-
this is gonna be actually very, very interesting here. So, Ryan can Tarkintown. Ryan can also not Tarkintown and just
yeah,
claim.
right.
The issue
If he
is that
just claims
Tatta.
he has the chance to draw a surprise strike or something, but I don't know. It's
That
looking
yeah,
tough for
surprise
Ryan.
strike doesn't push it through.
Surprise strike kills the fire spray, though, is what I was thinking.
Yeah, but you know the 2 actions from Tatta then are just gonna win. You know because
Well, he could surprise strike. Well, here's another thing he could do. He
or
could
it's
take
3
the
actions.
initiative, send his P38 into the Raider, and use the 1 damage from it to exhaust fire spray now that his Django will be ready. So he
Yeah,
does definitely have some delay options here.
which I think is he's gonna do.
That does seem like a good play to me, but we'll have to see how it goes.
I think you may do it the opposite way. I think you may swing the P38 into the fire spray and then ping the Raider, just so you have the option of
Hmm.
Tarkintown and the Raider afterwards if you want, or you know
Yeah,
Tarkintowning the fire
yeah,
spray.
that's possible, and that would prevent Tata's when defeated effect from going off, adding more damage to the base and potentially killing or exhausting one of Ryan's units as well. It isn't like as good for immediate like clear the board, but it looks like he is going for the first option, clearing the Ruthless Raider. 1 damage there, exhausts the fire spray. Tata's when defeated effect is going to hit Ryan's base for 2 and also hit one of these units for 2, which could then turn into another exhaust. He could kill the Interceptor or Kylo's TIE Silencer, or he could hit the more powerful Raider and exhaust it. What would you take here, Dark?
It's really close, man. I think Tatta should take Ruthless Raider. I think he should be more scared of him dying, you know, this action phase, you know, at this point.
He
Oh my
takes
god.
the Kylo's tie.
Second
It's gonna
second ability of Fire Spray. Everyone forgets it. You know, exhaust non-unique unit
Yeah, Raider
right
is a
onto that
non-unique
Ruthless
unit. There
Raider.
we go. This ability is very infrequently seen, but it's big value for Tata here, exhausting that Raider while also pinging off one of the other units.
So yeah, no, this just definitely is like the best part of this line.
A P38 dealing 1 oh, and now he's poised
Yeah.
to finally use his Tarkintown to clear that Fet's fire spray off the board.
All right, 2
Tata
damage to
still has a bunch
base.
of resources though. It looks like he still has 6 resources up. Imagine if we just see another Fet's fire spray take the field.
Yeah. He's got a red card. I couldn't necessarily see the hand of it, and then a triple dark raid. So this
Triple
triple
Dark
dark
Raid is
raid
a
can just
very
be it.
strong card here.
You know, Tata's just got to find a way in order to get, you know, any sizable unit out with this triple dark raid. And so I feel like we should do a crafty smuggler. Okay, yeah, we're just exhausting both. That's
Another
fine.
exhaust. Vet's fire spray exhausting 2 units there with its ability.
Yeah.
Ryan finally uses the Tarkintown, clearing Fet's fire spray. 2 damage to Ryan's base from the cartel spacer.
So yeah, Tata just wants him to tap out. You know, he's just sitting here using all his, you know, resources and actions, trying to get Ryan to tap out, you know, in hopes that the last card is, you know, nothing, full blank.
4 HP left for Ryan. That triple Dark Raid for Tata could close out the game here if Ryan doesn't have an answer with his
He's
last
got a
card in
Daring
hand.
Raid. Boy. Daring Raid, Ruthless Raider, triple Dark Raid.
That is a very strong hand. Ryan throws out his last card, and it's just a crafty smuggler. I
All
think
right.
Tata's got this one.
Yeah, Tata's got this. As long as he doesn't whiff on the triple dark raid, that's it. Well, first make sure you don't whiff. As long as he finds any vehicle unit now for 3 or
Yeah,
less, he's
I
fine.
think literally,
All right, there you go. First one.
any. Yeah, he shows a merc
Yep.
gunship. That's it.
Yep. Yep.
Win for Tata after a very drawn out technical game here. A lot of exhausts going back and forth. We are now 1-1, and we are going to move on into the third game of our simulated finals here at SCG Con Columbus.
All right. Yeah. Tata yet again on the back seat from game 1, but bringing us to a game 3. Let's see if he can yet again take it and win this whole thing.
Tata had some losses to Ryan in Swiss play previously. Let's see if he can, redeem that on stream here in the simulated finals of SCG Con Columbus.
Yeah. So as we saw there, these games, man, you have to almost essentially have foresight. You have to sit there and think, 6 actions down the line, what your play should be, based on just exhausting and all the tapping and everything. And it's just, these are some mechanical games.
Yeah, this is not this is not a Sabine versus Sabine mega race. Not that there's no skill involved in that matchup. There is, but this is a thoughtful, technical, extended matchup. Very interesting stuff here.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what we see. So, the start of game 2, we saw Tata had the correct unit for Ryan's opening hand as well, which was the Crafty Smuggler into the ISB agent. And and he had a lot of daring raids that also played really well into the fact that Ryan had multiples of Greedos. And so Tata was able to slow down Ryan, quite a good bit there at the beginning, but still was put quite on the back foot of damage. It became very close. Now we have to see, what the starting hands for these players are going to be. Tata's got no turn 1 play, just a daring raid. Will he be okay with a daring raid going into the 3 costs? He does have great 3 costs into 4 costs here.
Yeah.
Look, see, he's. I think they're discussing it,
Yeah.
but the fact that you revealed it, he's probably mulliganing.
Probably
But
means a mole. That's right.
it's honestly a close hand. The daring raid possibly could be good enough as just a turn 1 play. You have
It
very
depends a
good
lot on what
cards
Ryan's
afterwards.
turn 1 play would be. You can imagine
Yeah,
a scenario where Ryan leads off with Kylo's tie or a Merc gunship.
and it'd be
The
amazing.
daring raid answers it cleanly, and then we're off to the races with that strong 3 and up section.
But if
But that
Ryan has
daring
the
raid
crafty
could also
smuggler
just knock a
himself,
shield off the crafty smuggler.
yeah, it would be. Well, if that's happening, then you're feeling real bad.
Right.
At that point, but even then, in that point, I don't think it's the worst. Tata has, P38, so you could have just went, T38, ping the shield.
Not
But
unplayable in my opinion.
all right, hope we get. All right, we have at least a unit. Nothing very much else spicy. We have a tie silencer. All right, so now he's got to sit here and think about whether he wants to play the tie silencer or the crafty smuggler. He's got 2 surprise strikes and a lurking tie phantom. Seems he's keeping both surprise strikes, lurking tie phantom, and the crafty smuggler. So he got rid of that thing. So Tata wants to finish this fast. He kept a very quick hand and really wants to finish it fast. And Ryan missed on his
Ryan
turn
with
1.
no turn 1 play, it
Okay.
looks like.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting game. All right, Ryan, you're very much in the back foot. Your opponent has very good aggressive cards.
Now, the P38 comes in and knocks the shield off of the crafty smuggler, but because of the way Jango's ability is worded, the exhaust cannot actually be used here because the damage was prevented by the
Yep.
shield, so that crafty smuggler didn't end up actually taking damage from the ability.
So Tata's got a lurking tie, but you can't lurking tie into here because it's such a free attack for Ryan. He kills
Yeah,
lurking tie, exhausts the crafty smuggler.
right.
So
It's
I think we're
better
going to
than
see.
nothing, but it's probably not it's better than
He,
nothing, but it's probably not the most ideal
yeah,
play.
he's got this cartel spacer, so he's going to play this instead. Which I think. Oh nope, he's actually going to do.
No,
I
it's
don't
the
know.
lurking tie. No, I think that's fair. If he brings out the cartel spacer, It's basically like Ryan can do the same thing, right? He can just swing into it and then ping the crafty smuggler as well. So it might make sense to save that cartel spacer for a scenario where
Yeah,
you can get value out of the exhaust.
yeah. I think you are right with that one. It could be a lot more value for that. You're also kind of ensuring it. Even if you place the cartel spacer, there's a good chance that Ryan doesn't do this play. But with the lurking tie, he's essentially forced to.
Yeah.
Like,
Ooh, but he does end up bringing out a cartel spacer with nothing to exhaust. I wonder if he has another 2-drop in hand.
he looks like he's got an ISB agent.
Oh man, it
Oh,
is gunned down by an interceptor. But there's the ISB agent that you pointed out,
yep.
revealing a surprise strike for 1 damage to that interceptor, and I think there's a chance we'll see it get Tarkintown here. Or if you're Tatta though, do you save that Tarkintown for later or do you use it now?
Man, I don't know.
Ryan fires off his Tarkintown to clear a crafty smuggler.
He's got fire spray and another surprise strike.
Tatta
Yeah.
decides he's going
Okay.
to go for it too. Both
They both
Tarkintowns
go.
used on the same turn. And we have a pretty
The
barren
third
board
surprise
here.
strike.
Tatta slightly ahead with his ISB agent, the only unit on the field, but that is not the mightiest unit in the game.
No. Tatta has now had to resource 2 out of 3 of his surprise strike. He's got the remaining one in his hand, so we're gonna hope to get
Shield
good
up
use out
for
of
a
it.
crafty smuggler. Now, the interesting thing here is Tatta's ISB agent is potentially suppressing his opponent's Jango Fett deployment in terms of
Yeah.
being able to attack and immediately exhaust, but I don't know if Tatta will consider that to be the most worthy thing to do with his ISB agent. Tatta brings out his Jango Fett. Ryan still has some resources here, still has some cards in hand, and still has his Jango yet to flip.
We would love to see a 7th Fleet Defender out of Ryan. Lurking
Lurking Tie
Tie,
Phantom.
honestly good enough. Maybe better in this situation because Tatta does not have an answer to that card.
It does mean that Ryan no longer has the resources to potentially steal this Merc gunship if Tatta does play it out. 5 is an awkward moment for Merc gunship because if you play it and both players are at 5, the 2 that you spent to play it means you no longer have 4 to buy it back, and the opponent can potentially just immediately steal it from you.
Well, Tata's decided I need to win this game. I need to win it fast.
Surprise
Your
strike to the
units
base. He's
are
going to
playing
make use out
better.
of at least one of those surprise strikes. And there
Yeah.
is Jango. So Tatta could attack in and exhaust his opponent's Jango with that ISB agent, could potentially attack the base, opts to play his Merc gunship instead. Let's see what Ryan does here.
He's got 2 options. He can swing Jango into base. Oh, he
I
claims.
think
All right.
Ryan maybe took the initiative,
Yep,
so
he insta
Tatta
claimed.
then takes the hit there.
So Ryan now can either get a swing with Lurking Tie, can steal the gunship. There's no way he's
Stealing the
stealing gunship.
gunship, Tatta probably just steals it back then, right?
Yeah, Ryan's hand's just too good. He's probably going to.
Maybe you steal the gunship if you have a 2-drop here and you think your opponent might not, because that way, like, you both spend those resources and then you
I
do
don't
something
think.
that makes you, like,
Yeah,
relatively up.
it's close. No,
This
6.
is
With
this is
this
very
Raider.
technical gameplay. I
Oh,
have not.
perfect. Yep,
Oh,
even
there's the
better.
Raider. That's a big card in this matchup, and it has a big result here, taking out that Merc gunship and dealing 2 damage to Tata's base.
All right. I think Tata's just forced 3 damage go to base. Yep. He's gonna be. I'm just gonna hope I can kill you faster than you can kill me.
12
You know.
damage on Ryan's base now, only 13 HP remaining, but the board is flipping further and further towards Ryan's control. And Ryan definitely playing the control now, swinging with his
Yeah.
Jango Fett to clear his opponent's ISB agent. And now we see Fett's fire spray on the field from Tatta.
He
Ryan
chooses
going for the
not
base.
to.
He could have swung into that Fett's fire
Yeah.
spray.
I think he
Didn't
should
go
have.
for it.
I think he
5
should have
more on his
definitely did
base.
it. I don't know about that one. I think he should 100% should have swing that Lurking Tie, exhausted
He may
the
have
one
been
man
hoping
thing.
to get the initiative here. Maybe he has some play that's going to allow him to clear out that fire spray here. I'm not sure.
Maybe a second Ruthless Raider. I know he has a triple Dark Raid, I believe.
He's running out of base HP, though. Only 8 HP left on his base. If he doesn't deal with that fire spray immediately, he would be dead to a surprise strike. Now, I think we've seen Tatta resource some surprise strikes, as you
Yeah, he's
pointed
got
out,
no
Gar,
more.
but
He's
Ryan
got
might
no
not
more
know
surprise
that.
strike. Yeah.
In fact, Ryan
Ryan
almost
has no
certainly
idea.
doesn't know
Yeah,
it.
he's got no idea.
Lose 686 in the chat thinking that Tatta's going to win this. I do think the balance of power here has shifted towards Tatta with all the damage on Ryan's base, but we'll have to see. These
It's
have
tough.
been matches with a lot of back and forth. There's another Raider. These Raiders
That's
are
what you
great
want.
cards in this matchup.
That's what you wanted to not see. That is not what you wanted to see.
Exhausting the fire spray and 2 damage to base. Now there's only 17 HP left on Tatta's base, which sounds like it would be a lot, but it's worth noting that there's 8, 10, 13 damage on board here. However, Ryan's base now left at only 5 HP. If Tatta has another Fet's fire spray in hand, that could be something pretty spicy. Ruthless Raider swings on in to the Fet's fire spray there, clearing it and leaving itself heavily damaged. Tatta fires off a daring raid into Ryan's base, I believe. That's right. Only 3 HP left for Ryan, and that Jango Fett is still on the field. Ryan might be forced to take the initiative here.
Yeah, which I think he definitely just did.
Ooh. Oh, man, and then 2 small units for Tatta. This is looking bad for Ryan. Shield knocked off by that ping. I don't know if Ryan has a way out. He'd have to somehow stop 3 units. I don't know that he can do it.
Yeah, I don't think he can do it.
He can stop 2 units, but I don't know about 3.
You know, I think that last turn Ryan should have exhausted that fire spray. That 5 damage, that was it. It really was. He needed just a couple
Preventing
more
5
turns.
to base there might have been pretty big for Ryan.
You know, he lost so much of actions because of that, one play.
Now let's see how this proceeds. Ryan's thinking about. See, this is the problem. Ryan can send his wounded raider into one of those space units, use it when defeated to defeat the other or to exhaust Jango, but that leaves Tatta with 1 unit left, and any of these units can swing for lethal.
If all of these players are in different situations, Tatta would have 100% could come back from this point.
There's the handshake.
All right, so that right there is I think very much proof of the fact that Ryan does not have the tank, because tank exploiting those 2 gunships.
Tank exploiting those raiders could have saved the day. You're absolutely right. And if it were Tatta's deck, I think at the very least he could have fired his triple dark raid and hoped to see that tank.
You can still exploit off of the triple dark raid too.
Yeah. I think Ryan doesn't have the tank, so he doesn't have the out, and Tatta ends up winning it. A successful, kind of redemption game here, even in the simulated finals. Tatta had lost twice to Ryan in Swiss rounds across the last 2 days, but he finally gets the win over Ryan here on stream for our simulated final at SCG Con Columbus.
Thanks for watching and supporting Maclunky Gaming. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.